Now, here's Mark.
Good evening and welcome. And I trust this spring evening is treating you well. Doesn't really feel like a spring evening to me, but we'll take it. It's April, and good things are coming. And I hope all is well in your circle and everybody's healthy. Someone just asked me a couple days ago, is flu season over with yet? And it is. So we don't have to worry so much about flus anymore, although there's still some lingering spring colds that are cropping. I should say some lingering winter colds and spring colds that are merging out there. And certainly it is allergy season. But nonetheless, things are looking up. Before long, it'll be flowers and leaves. And on we go. This evening, we have some interesting information we're going to be sharing with you regarding really the health revolution. There's an interesting article that a fabulous magazine, by the way, for people that are not familiar with it, called Cosmos Magazine. It's a remarkable science magazine that I stumbled across, and I'm thrilled that I did. But I just want to give you a couple lines of a fascinating article that I found in Cosmos Magazine that was written from the author in Chicago recently. An explosion in genetic research is helping physicians detect and treat deadly diseases like never before, says a collection of studies. The advances could soon lead to genetic pre-screening to assess risk for a range of diseases and personalized preventive treatments. A special issue of the Journal of American Medical Association this week assessed the state of genetic-based treatments and presented a number of significant discoveries, including a genetic predisposition for developing post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. The magnitude, scope, and space of discovery in genetics and genomics research are at unprecedented levels and continue to increase exponentially, journal editor-in-chief Catherine DeAngelis wrote in a co-authored editorial. These discoveries have important implications for understanding disease processes, for predicting disease susceptibility and progression, and for refining and individualizing treatments, she said, all of which ultimately have the potential to improve health and to increase both quality of life and longevity. The experts noted that while 15 years ago there were 100 genes that could be tested for clues to disease susceptibility, today there are over 1,500. The research presented in the journal nonetheless presented significant advances in the genetic links to a number of common diseases, including cancer, heart disease, osteoporosis, post-traumatic stress disorder, and blood clots. Perhaps the most intriguing study mentioned was one that found a gene related to stress response could help predict whether people who had experienced child abuse or other early trauma would later suffer from PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is a common psychiatric disorder affecting at least 7% of the United States population, with much higher rates among combat veterans and those living in high-violence areas, the authors wrote. But before experiencing the same trauma, often have different responses, and it was not clear why some people developed the PTSD while others didn't. It appears that a gene involved in switching off the fight or flight response could impact whether people subjected to trauma are able to recover on their own or will end up trapped in a state of stress and anxiety. Remarkable stuff, and there are so many people that are becoming more and more aware of the genetic explosion that is really and truly dramatically changing the face of medicine. And, it's my prediction and my sense that we are probably only at the doorstep of what is destined to really be a medical revolution. And I think the Human Genome Research Project that goes back to the mid to late 70s has really begun to flourish with regards to the genetic and genomic research. and what's called nutrigenomic research, the idea of genes in biochemistry and nutrition. And nutrigenomics really are representative of an absolutely remarkable new science that, as I said a moment ago, is likely to revolutionize medicine as you and I know it within the next 10 years. Revolutionize medicine. Think of this in simple terms. A child is born today, in theory, for $126. $126. They can have a complete 50-page report as to what their genetic roadmap looks like with regards to disease tendencies. And furthermore, have recommendations regarding what supplements, what nutritional supplements, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, etc., specifically are necessary to help this child prevent a variety of cancers, heart disease, osteoporosis, stress disorders, etc., etc., etc. So when you think about, the reality that there realistically are two forms of medicine. Realistically, there is the common form of intervention, which we all know about, and that is when you have symptoms, you have problems, you go see a physician, and you are assessed and given a prescription, etc. That is interventive or intervention-based medicine. The only other form of medicine, folks, is prevention. Prevention. And the nutrigenomic research that we're talking about this evening is the key to revolutionizing preventive medicine, because it gives us the opportunity to get a detailed roadmap that tells us exactly where the disease tendencies are, what the probability factors are, and what to do about it from the standpoint of nutrients that can help block the expression of these genetic disease tendencies. Amazing, amazing stuff. So it is indeed an explosion that is changing the face of medicine. Fascinating article in Cosmos magazine. We've got a lot to talk about regarding this revolutionizing of medicine, specifically preventive medicine, with the help of nutrigenomics and genetic research. And we're going to talk about that this evening. And I think you're going to find it very, very interesting. And one of the most amazing parts of this whole process is there are specific nutrients that these studies indicate that do indeed block the advancing expression is the term that's used, but these nutrients can block the advancing expression of various diseases. So, remarkable stuff. And when we come back from this little break, after we pay a few bills here, we are going to bring this information to you. So as soon as we find Larry to get back on the board. Larry has vanished once again on the Starship Enterprise. And our wonderful crack producer there he is. Larry, where'd you go?
I can't talk to you. You have my headphones.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we'll get these headphones sorted out. We'll get Larry back on planet Earth, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Right in our area, we are fortunate to have one of the top martial arts schools in the country, Personal Best Karate. Personal Best has been recognized for their community involvement, professional staff development, character-building programs, and exciting educational curriculum. Personal Best stands at the top of their industry. 5 locations offering personalized professional instruction. Not sure if karate is right for you? At no obligation, the staff at Personal Best will guide you in a private introductory program to see if karate is indeed the right fit to help you achieve your goals and meet your needs. What does karate at Personal Best teach you? Character building, success habits, helps you get in shape, relieve stress, self-control, setting goals, and, of course, self-defense. Personal Best's goal is to create successful, contributing members of society through the practice of the martial arts at Personal Best. Mr. Chris Rappold is, of course, the founder of Personal Best Karate. He tells me his greatest joy of all is to see the personal transformation in each and every student. Bring out your best with Personal Best Karate. Telephone number 508-285-5425. That's 508-285-5425. Locations in Norton, Foxborough, Southeaston, Franklin, and Taunton. That's Personal Best Karate.
This segment is being sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods. Good Health is a well-established organic specialty food market as well as a vitamin and sports nutrition shop. Good Health is a family-owned business passionately committed to giving back to the neighborhoods of Boston and the South Shore. The Maturos and the entire Good Health family continue to make an indelible impact on the communities they serve. There are currently 2 extraordinary stores, 1627 Hancock Street, Quincy, Mass., and 219 Columbia Road, Route 53 in Hanover, Mass. For everything natural, organic, and wheat or gluten-free, it's Good Health Natural Foods, open 7 days a week. In Quincy, 617-773-4925, and Hanover, 781-826-0808. That's Good Health Natural Foods. Alrighty, welcome back. Great to have you on board this evening. Have you ever been on an air flight or something, or on a cruise, or maybe in a train or something like that, and you see the captain walk back and kind of exchange trivialities and hellos and goodbyes with everybody out there? Every now and then you wonder to yourself, well, if the captain's walking up and down the aisles, shaking hands with everybody, then who the heck's flying this thing? You know. So every now and then Larry takes walks through the hallways here at WATD. And I kind of feel like, who is flying this thing at this moment in time? So anyway, good news is he's back in action. So we've got Jay on the line. Jay, welcome. Jay, are you out there?
Yes, sir.
There you are. Great to have you on board.
Okay.
What's happening, Jay?
Well, I had a question about, Dr. Mark, about the prevention side.
Right.
You know, we're talking intervention versus prevention.
Right.
And if this isn't too much of a tangent, I would just like to get your comments about phosphatidylserine. Is this... I hear that this has potentially good effects in keeping, a reserve of cognition as you get older. But I'm not really sure about this, so I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and it really plays right into what we're talking about this evening. I don't think it's a tangent at all, Jay. I think you're right in line with our topic. And there have been 7 myopathic pathways that, many geneticists say there are 6. And there are a number of them now that are in agreement that there are 7. What I mean by that is there's 7 different, I guess I'd say assembly lines, if you will, in the body genetically that are representative of problems that are waiting to express themselves in the form of a variety of diseases and conditions. And nutrigenomic and epigenetic researchers are now saying, hey, guess what? Thus far, we've found 25 nutrients, most of the B vitamins, B1, B2, B5, B6, B12, folic acid, all your B complexes, if you will. And serine is one of the amino acids, one of the ones you just mentioned, that's actually listed as a preventive agent, if you will, or a blocking agent. It's referred to as a methylator. So it really helps us in the process of adding what they call a single carbon unit or a methyl group to another molecule. In that process, in that transfer, it makes a donation. And the donation is a protective one. So that there are 25 nutrients that the epigenetic and the nutrigenomic researchers have identified with so far. As I said, the B vitamins and their aminos, which include serine. And that is indeed true, that a number of these researchers have found that the progression of a lot of cognitive problems, for example, memory problems, a lot of brain-related neuropeptide activity, having a kind of sharp recall, as well as, the idea of more tendencies to brain conditions and brain diseases, definitely seem to be blocked by this serine. So, in other words, think of these genetic problems as diseases at the gene level that want to express themselves. And supplements and nutrients of a variety of types have been discovered of late, in the last 10 years or so, that have demonstrated the ability to block this negative expression or prevent disease.
Wow.
So serine is indeed one of them. There's another phosphatidylcholine as well that's another one, choline, and the two of them work very closely with brain function. Absolutely true.
Wow. All right. So at least for the short run, you don't know of any reason not to take small dosages then?
No, none whatsoever. I mean, and these are free-form amino acids. You'll see a capital L in front of them. It'll say, well, in the case of phosphatidylserine or even the choline, these are generally they're similar to like the free-form amino acids like L-lysine and L-histidine, etc. So these are only going to generally build up to the point that they're needed, and then for the most part, the body's going to rid itself of whatever extraneous concentrations that you might take. Although that's pretty hard to do, because the serine is only 100 milligrams.
Okay.
You could take 1 or 2 serine tabs a day and probably do just fine.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Jay. Great to hear from you again.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, and and that really does lead us very nicely into our point this evening, that this is really unprecedented science that has clearly pointed out for us that, and continues to, by the way, become more advanced and more highly articulated regarding its efficiencies at helping us with prevention and with preventive strategies. And as I pointed out, I did some quite a bit of work in this area, researching this area, looking into what's out there. It's a little complicated, and a lot of it is kind of complicated and in a kind of minutiae manner. There's a lot going on that you can't really understand. It's a language unto itself, but you can grasp most of what the messages are all about. And these are significant discoveries that indicate that indeed there are nutrients. We used to think nutrients were just kind of good for you. And epigenetics and nutrigenomics and the research that they represent have really put a whole different face on nutrients, in the sense that nutrients now, from the perspective of prevention, are taking on specific roles. We are discovering specific pathways that specific nutrients indeed block when it comes to the expression of diseases. And again, the more you do looking into this, the more researching you do into these studies and into this remarkable new science, the more you find out that there are an awful lot of folks around the world who are doing epigenetic and nutrigenomic or nutritional gene studies. And it seems like they don't really talk to each other a whole lot, because there's an awful lot of them that are finding similar things and that are finding also breakthrough information that I think that if we could put all these people together in one large facility for a 3-day weekend, I think it would be a remarkable meeting of minds. But to my understanding, that most of this research has taken place in vacuums, in scientific vacuums. But be that as it may, there are some remarkable new understandings of disease processes thanks to all these people. And there's some remarkable new specific and unprecedented discoveries regarding how nutrients prevent these problems from further developing. As we mentioned when Jay was on the line, one of these things is actually referred to as methylation. And again, there are specific pathways. One of them is the methylation pathway, which is considered one of the most important, and it's all about, the health perspective of sulfur in the body. Sulfur is, of course, an extremely important element to our health, to the functioning of liver, to the functioning of detoxification, the excretion of heavy metals and toxins and endotoxins, and the idea that we take a lot of hits genetically. Most people are not aware of the fact that we have about 35,000 genes in our body, and unfortunately, our genes take 30,000 hits every day, assaults. And there are a variety of different assaults that take place at the genetic level that end up really being the causal triggers for diabetes, for heart disease, for Crohn's disease, a variety of cancers, obesity, schizophrenia, Parkinson's. So these are really, I think, the revolutionary new genetic patterns that are being discovered that really enable us to find out exactly what a given person should be eating, what they should be taking for supplements, in order to have that roadmap, in order to have that specific indication of what best they could take and eat to prevent the variety of family-type diseases that they have become accustomed to hearing about every time that someone in the family is ill. And again, as I said earlier, too, that I was aware of a company called Genelex, and Genelex is really one of the most respected companies in this testing, in this world of genetic testing. And the test that they run is very thorough. It's a 46-page report, and they have offices in Rome, in London, and in New York. And people from all over the world are sending their saliva in and having their genetic roadmap all printed out for them and having their recommendations of what vitamins to take, what foods to focus on eating to prevent the expression of whatever their genetic tendencies are. And as I said earlier, in their detailed road mapping, they're also going to get indicators as to what their disease tendencies will be. So you start from the perspective of being perfectly healthy. And what this is all about is trying to find out how you can stay perfectly healthy, but also finding out about what the tendencies toward disease are in your genetic makeup, what the probability is for the following series of problems that could develop and what kind of diseases they could lead to. What I did find is there's a great website and a whole new connection that I made with a different test facility that I looked into, and from what I discovered, they're equally as respected and equally as thorough and equally as good at what they do and as Genelex is, but for $126. So you get, again, a really good, complete preventive roadmap, and I'm going to give that website out in just a little bit, but when you consider that, you know, the initial testing is $375 for Genelex, and for so many of these companies, I looked at other companies similarly, $300 and $400, which a little pricey, even though you're going to get a remarkable printout and a remarkable report. But the new company that I did discover, again, very reasonable and a highly respected company, does a great job, $126. So I think that is a good bit of information for all of you out there that may want to take a look at some of this and consider getting your nutrigenomic or epigenetic report so that you can actually plan your nutritional and dietary lifestyle around some of these recommendations and have a better sense about what direction otherwise your body might be pointed in. And as we said, one of the more important supplements is actually, we talked about the B vitamins, but the more of this studying and the more of this understanding that you make a connection with, the more you seem to find out that folic acid is remarkably important. It's we talked about methyl donors. We talked about recently the adding that single carbon unit from a methyl group to another molecule as a preventive means. It's called methyl doning, and folic acid is one of the single most important donors. And just over the past 2 years alone, I think I've found a dozen studies about folic acid preventing, or I should say not preventing, but rather helping to improve the health status of people with hypertension, heart disease, immunity, and supporting the immune system in the fight against cancer. I think folic acid really is consistently availing itself as a nutritional superstar easy to obtain, no side effects, inexpensive. One of the best bangs for the buck there is in the world of nutrition is folic acid. And to take 400 micrograms twice a day is probably an extremely good idea. I know people often ask me why it is that I think that there are so many studies that continue to indicate that folic acid is so very important for such a variety of diseases and conditions. And I always point to the genetic component because, again, if folic acid is the methyl donor that it is, and if it is the genetic superstar that it is, then it obviously is going to block a number of disease pathways. So when we see studies that are more cellular about, folic acid's good for blood pressure and folic acid's good for heart disease, etc., well, it only stands to reason that the reason it's so important at supporting good health in the face of all these conditions, this variety of conditions, is because obviously there is this genetic component to folic acid, which is, again, indicating that once these negative pathways are expressing themselves, are left to express themselves, they're going to express a myriad of problems, and the range, of course, is very broad. So once one pathway opens up, a lot of negative things can happen. And obviously there are superstar nutrients that epigenetic and nutrigenomic research has italicized, and clearly one of those is folic acid. And Jay actually asked a great question, and another one of those great superstars is serine, S-E-R-I-N-E. And as we said, folks who may want to try kind of preventing the loss of memory and the degeneration of brain function, the phosphatidylserine is clearly one very, very good choice, nutritionally speaking. And in small denominations, 100 milligrams twice a day, more than enough. Better tolerated, by the way, on an empty stomach. Folic acid, on the other hand, take it with food. All right, we're going to come back with that interesting website address, and we're going to give you a little more information on epigenetics and nutrigenomics, and of course, bottom of the hour, we're going to have Candida in here, so stay right where you are.
Hi, this is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We're happy to announce our new partnership with Dr. Mark Mincola. When we started out in this industry, our intentions were to bring good quality nutrition, cutting-edge science, and reasonably priced products to the market, and also encourage people to take an active role in their own health and wellness. Jarrow Formulas has been in business for over 20 years and is considered an industry leader. Jarrow is incredibly active in consumers' rights to access dietary supplements and creating good quality manufacturing standards for our industry. When we first met Dr. Mincola, we knew that we had a true partner and an ally in the mission of creating a happy, healthy, and wealthy New England through the sharing of knowledge and enthusiasm for health and healing. And we're excited for the world of knowledge that there is that we can share with you all. As we take this journey together with great partners, great energy, and looking forward to a great future for all of those that are encouraged to come along.
Your health is important. Sort out fact from fiction in a relaxed and entertaining setting at the free Women's Health Expo on Saturday, May 24th. This interactive women's health experience is free and open to the public. Event highlights include free health screenings, book signings, door prizes, personal discussions with the nation's leading women's health experts, and over 200 unique health products. A free film festival will feature Ricky Lake's new birth documentary, The Business of Being Born. You can also meet certified nurse midwives, talk to student midwives, and experience what you'll learn in midwifery school at the Become a Midwife Forum from 9 to 11 a.m. The Women's Health Expo is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, May 24th at the John B. Hines Veterans Memorial Convention Center in Boston. Women of all ages and their families are encouraged to attend. Learn more about the Women's Health Expo at midwife.org/am. That's midwife.org/am.
Alrighty, welcome back in. Of course, it's Candida time. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-down. How you doing? Good, how are you?
Good, great.
What's going on?
I'm so excited about your event you have coming up. I feel like I have to start with that.
This is,
we just confirmed. News is in. I'm doing the news tonight. Dr. Mark Mancola. What's that I usually do? I'm in a weird mood. But no, your Sound and Light Healing presentation, we are so excited. This is the first time ever you fully orchestrated and recorded Sound and Light Healing presentation.
This is
all composed
this
by
this
you?
is actually kind of an evolutionary process, because folks may remember several years back at the Company Theater, we did a Sound and Light presentation, and then we did where we had somebody playing keyboards live, and we had Steve Hayward do the light show.
Yep.
And everything was kind of awkward and bulky, and we had to work out some knots. And then the second presentation we did 2 years ago, I believe.
Yep.
And I wrote some music for that was just kind of synthesized, new agey kind of music that I worked really hard on composing, and that really was great fun, and that worked beautifully well. But now this is the third incarnation of that, and this is the new improved model, and this is the first time. The past year, I've been working on complete compositions with vocals and complete arrangements. I've played all the instruments and did all of the production work on it, all the arrangements on it. Did all the singing on it, and these are very powerful healing songs that are part of the healing passion that I'm really looking forward to expressing that night. We have a very special light show that's going to work with it. And so when people come, they're not just going to hear these songs that I've composed, but they're going to hear 8 specific songs that have healing topics. It's going to start with 10 minutes of inspirational talk for each one of these, followed by
which is live,
by me. And then after I've done a 10-minute talk, each of these talks are going to be kind of emphasized or italicized or underscored by these songs that I've written that kind of really bring a lot more power into the expressions and the inspiration of this whole healing process. They're also going to be showered, folks in the audience are, with sound and light vibrations that are in sync. So the idea that we all have chakras or energy centers, and we have 7 of those. So we're going to go rate progressively up the chakras. So the first chakra is, of course, red, key of A.
Right.
So we've linked up a red light show with a song that I've written in the key of A.
And talk about how the vibration...
And we're going to talk about some really powerful healing coordinates, some interesting inspirational healing that's coordinated with all that. And then, like I say, we go right up the scale. We go B, C, D, E, F, G, and have the corresponding light and corresponding inspirational topics. So nobody's ever done anything like this, and this is, like I said, this is my baby because I've never really presented complete compositions like this. So it's going to be a very special event.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
And it's June 5th.
June 5th, right around the corner.
Yeah.
Thursday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be at the Company Theater in Norwell, and the tickets are only $35, which is amazing. Thank you for doing this. Folks could call 781-834-2728. How about the muscle testing? People have been asking me. You're going to call some folks up on stage as well?
Yeah, we'll do, of course. We couldn't have a presentation without doing some of those demonstrations. And I think what we're going to be doing that night is doing a lot more of the demonstrations that sort of show and correlate the energy field of emotions and thoughts.
Right.
With muscle testing, and the fact that when you and I are stressed, or when you and I are thinking negative thoughts, we basically lose a tremendous amount of vital energy in our muscles, and you can see instantaneously by doing some simple muscle testing. Most importantly, you can see how to get it back real fast.
Right.
And that's what we're going to show folks.
I know a couple of weeks back in class you did, depending on a sound, people could be affected by a sound.
Absolutely right.
And then you give them that sound to practice, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
So, they all have a different sound associated with it.
Everybody certainly does, and everybody has, let's face it, we think of ourselves as cellular and as material and physical beings, which surely we are, but we have an awful lot of energy components as well. And I think when we're starting to talk about emotions, we talk about frame of mind, positive thinking, consciousness, all these things, they sort of insinuate that there's more depth and more width to who we are at the unseen level, the energetic level.
Right.
And this evening, when people leave this presentation, they will feel profoundly different. They will feel changed, and they will be changed.
Folks, last time they had their eyes closed. I saw a couple people that were crying.
Oh, it was
does
incredible.
stir up a lot of emotion, too.
Absolutely. It's a profound, and I think so many people right now are really looking for something above and beyond the typical. We understand that it's okay and it's important to take care of yourself in a myriad of different material ways, to take your vitamins like we always talk about and to eat properly. Very important, no question. But there's another entire dimension to who we are, and that is the itch that is not getting scratched. So we want to help people and let them know that we're really working hard at helping them make that connection. We hear that part of them, and we're basically open to that part of them. We want to help them make that connection, and we want to do it with them,
That's great. And folks could actually go home with the recorded CD.
Yes, indeed.
Which is great.
Yep, and that's going to be...
That's so exciting.
That's going to be very, very reasonably priced, just like the last time. I mean, it's going to be very inexpensive.
But, I love it because you're teaching them something, but then you're giving them something that
taking
they
it
can go
home so they can continue to heal and keep that experience alive. Right. And, it's interesting. From the last presentation that we did and the last recording that I wrote, a number of practitioners in the area, a lot of the Chinese doctors, a lot of the other healthcare practitioners that are working with cancer patients have come in and repeatedly bought a dozen of those at a time. They give them to their cancer patients because they all claim that their cancer patients feel much better when they listen to the music.
Wow.
So there's been a tremendous calling for the last composition that I put together for the Sound and Light presentation, but this is going to be completely different. It's been a year in the studio and really develop these complete composition, these fully developed compositions. And like I said, I think it's a great labor of love and a great vision.
Wow. I would imagine that if someone might be going through some type of radiation or the chemotherapy, this tape could actually help bring their body back into sync.
Well, we know the power of music. When I was at, years and years ago, when I was at the University of Massachusetts doing my first semester of graduate work, one of the things I was really interested in is the concept of music therapy. And I asked everybody everywhere. Nobody really seemed to have much to say about it. But I was told that Max Roach, the great jazz drummer, would be somebody who used to teach at UMass at the time when I was there, might be somebody that I want to talk to. So I went and I actually sat down and talked to Max Roach for about an hour and a half. He was absolutely a remarkable person. But he had the vision many, many years in advance, was very inspired by, we were both basically very inspired by the whole concept of music. Who doesn't feel good when they listen to music? If you've got the right connection, you're listening to the right stuff that really hits you in the right places, everybody has a change of mood, a change of heart, a change of spirit. We know that music accesses those energetic parts of us in ways like nothing else can. So my theory is, anytime you've watched the PBS specials that have Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra, wonderful presentations. But my thought is that there's another entire realm to hit here. And then I can envision developing this so that I do a PBS presentation just as inspirational as anybody's, where we're talking the talk and making a very powerful oral connection with folks, talking in a way that they really are inspired. But we can emphasize it with the power of music and take it into another realm altogether. So that's what I hope for. That's what the vision is.
Wow. You've done such a remarkable job tying that all together. Thank you.
Well, I look forward to it, and I hope folks are interested. And again, they can call you at 781-834-2728, and I wouldn't wait to the last minute because we've really had...
We sold out.
Yeah, we've had packed houses now the last two times. So.
And they could also go on to my website. I just got it up there. It's healthylivingvideo.com.
Great. Awesome.
And now to Good Health, they want to remind folks that Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes, indeed.
And they make these really intriguing, natural baskets. And you kind of hand select different things.
For Mother's Day? I didn't even know that.
For Mother's Day, yeah. They
fantastic.
have a whole line of wonderful, all-natural skincare products.
Brilliant. That's
everything.
great.
Yeah, it's great. From lotions to, salves to soaps.
From lotions to potions.
Yes. No, that's Valentine's Day.
Okay, yeah, wrong celebration.
But it's great. Sometimes you just give like flowers or candy or something like that. This would be something I think more meaningful. And
That's
I got my mother a
fantastic.
basket last year. They have just a limited number and they sell out very quickly. So we recommend you guys going down or just purchasing some of the products and making your own basket.
And of course,
nice
we've been
too.
talking about nutrients as well, like as we always do. We talk about folic acid this evening, and we've been talking about serine and choline and these really important agents at blocking and preventing the genetic expression of disease. And Good Health's got, I think, one of the most remarkable brands of vitamins that's out there right now is NOW, the Now brand.
The Now. They're great.
You know why? Because they're a great company. They do a really nice job formulating their products. They don't skimp on anything, but their prices are fabulous.
They're so affordable.
They're so affordable with great
They're like
quality.
40% less than some of the
And
others.
uncompromised quality.
Yeah. So fill the basket up with Now, and I want you to tell
Get Mom
folks-
some folic acid.
Yes, well, no, the anti-skin. You did a show on NECN.
I
What
did.
was that? Krill oil?
Krill oil, that's
Krill
right.
oil.
Krill oil. You were watching my NECN
I
segment.
always watch them.
On krill oil, absolutely true.
So buy a little krill oil because that's good for
Good for that skin, absolutely right.
anti-aging components.
It
in
is.
there.
That's exactly right. You got
So
it.
I listen.
So tell them where Good Health is.
Me? Oh, boy.
Come on.
219 Columbia Road, which is Route 53 in Hanover. Their phone number there is 781-826-0808 or 1627 Hancock Street in Quincy. Phone number is 617-773-4925. I sound
you did
better
that
than you.
very well. That's Good Health Natural Foods, and that was Candida Mammon, of course. So what's going on in your world these days?
Well, if you have to ask, the Luna Fest Film Festival is coming up, which I'm very excited about. The cover of the magazine is a little different than what we've done in the past, but we wanted to kind of wake people up and let them know that there's some seriousness going on with sex trafficking.
Yes.
And people don't think that it happens here on the South Shore in the Boston area.
It happens
but in
all over the
fact,
world, everywhere.
It does. So we highly recommend folks coming down to the Luna Fest Film Festival, which will be at the Duxbury Performing Arts Center May 15th, which is a Thursday evening from 6 to 10 p.m. It's $20 to go to the movies.
It's
and
a
it's
magnificent
for a great,
event. It's a
great
fun event,
cause.
and it's a great cause, and you do a fabulous job.
Thank you. And there's 9 short films. They last 90 minutes, and they're inspirational films that are made by, for, and about women.
A remarkable
great-
quality of filmmaking,
Oh,
I
yeah,
might
it's
add.
national. This is a national. This is the 7th year that they've been doing it. So from 6 to 8, we're just going to have open networking. We have all different healing practitioners, artists, authors that'll be there.
So if folks are interested, as they're listening this evening, saying, I think
what's
I'm
the
going to
number?
get involved in this, they can call you at 781-834-2728.
Right, and if you're thinking of going and you might not be able to afford it, Larry will take the next 4 callers because I want to give some tickets away, okay?
There you go.
781-837-4900. I'm looking for some volunteers, so I'll give some tickets away and we'll have you volunteer.
Good. The question I have is,
Yes.
how big is the mailbox on your phone?
I have 50 messages. Why'd you call? It was full?
I just know that number must get tapped. It must get so used.
It does.
So many folks calling you because of all the good work you do.
I did. My mailbox was full this weekend because I did 4 radio shows and people were just calling about the Luna Fest.
Great.
Make a call. Please hang up and try again. Hang up.
That's exactly what her phone box sounds like. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
All right, have a great night. Thank you.
We could make it together. The further from here down, the better. Where the air is fresh and clean.
We're just having way too much fun here tonight. I'll tell you, that is great stuff. All right. Let's get back on topic here. We've been talking a little bit with you this evening regarding the importance of disease prevention and the revolutionizing of that whole process with nutrigenomic research and, the idea that there are new sciences that are springing up right out from under our feet these days that in the next 3 to 5 years, are going to explode on the scene, and they're going to really, I think, help physicians to detect and treat a variety of deadly diseases like never before. And there are a collection of studies recently published in the Journal of American Medicine that indicate that very thing. So, and again, I think that you and I probably can break this down into simple information, because we're certainly not going to understand all of this. It's pretty complicated science. However, the simple long and short of it is that we now have the preventive capability to identify with whatever disease patterns you're inclined to develop genetically. And better yet, what to do regarding your DNA-type diet. Okay? So nutrigenomics is just what it sounds like. Nutri is the prefix for nutrition. Genomics, of course, is a sort of a genetic inference. So it's a nutritional genetic connection that's been made by science. And nutritional genetics, or nutrigenomics as it's called, looks at individual genes in the body that determine how we might respond to nutrients in the foods that we eat. And a lot of people know that that genes cause disease, obviously, but few realize that diet and lifestyle can clearly determine, whether specific genes that we have may be inclined to express themselves in positive or negative manners. With nutritional testing that they're doing these days, we have the ability to determine which kind of diet, what kind of nutrients best would suit our unique genetic requirements and needs. And nutrigenomics kind of really takes this detailed look at how these variations impact us as whole functioning machines. And there is something called the DNA diet that's floating around out there right now that you might want to take a look at as well. But I think that the most important part of this equation, again, to simplify it, is that there are a variety, as I said earlier, there are 25 nutrients that have been consistently identified with. And among those 25 nutrients are all the B complexes, B1, B2, B5, B6, etc. Among those, the superstar of superstars appears to be folic acid, and it keeps showing up time and time again. So I think you want to certainly make sure that you have folic acid in your daily protocol. Also, there's a few other goodies in there that keep showing up too. There's something called choline, choline. There's something called TMG,